Hi there, today and over the next few videos I'm going to be tackling the question, what is marketing? Now, I'm a marketing consultant and trainer, and I've begun to realize there's an awful lot of confusion about what marketing actually is and how you can make the most of your marketing activities. My name is Carl Craig West and I'm the founder of the Auckland Marketing Club. I'm also a trainer, a speaker and author. And remember, if you like this video, share it out far and wide, click on the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube, and if you click on notifications, YouTube will let you know when we make one of these videos. Okay, what is marketing? Now, I've been involved in the marketing industry now for well over 10 years, and having run my own business on and off for most of my adult life, I've kind of learned a lot of stuff about what is and is not effective in marketing. Now, we're not going to go into the details of what to do in your marketing. Today, I'm going to show you an overview of what marketing is and isn't, and what it's all about, and how you can begin to frame your marketing and your business to make the most of your outward-facing business self. Now, there are lots of elements of marketing. Yes, you've got all of the promotion and advertising stuff that you put out onto social media, email. If you pay for advertising anywhere, that includes things like television, that includes referrals, that includes upsells, cross sales, etc. There's loads of stuff that form part of your marketing. But I want to take it right back to its most fundamental basics and then expand it out from there. The academic historical model of marketing was 4 Ps, and those 4 Ps were product, price, place and promotion. And notice the promotion is the very last one. Now, promotion is all of the social media, the email, etc., the advertising, etc. But it all starts with your product. You've got to make sure that you have a product which is fit for a particular market. Now, that's a service as well. The product was including services. Now, here's the thing. You've got to have a service which sells. You've got to have a service or a product which somebody wants to buy. It's pointless being the world's greatest expert in VHS videotapes when, quite frankly, nearly nobody's going to buy them. You're not going to have a business. You're going to have a badly paying hobby. So you've got to have a product that people actually want, or a new product which you are confident you can develop the demand for. For example, here in Auckland, I've not long ago started the Auckland Marketing Club. It's fairly new. So I'm having to educate the market on something fairly new. I know that it's a good idea. It's been proven elsewhere in the world, but here in Auckland, it's fairly new. So I've got a product which is new to the market. So I'm having to educate the market on first of all, what it is, why it's good, and then try and get people to join. And that's fine. That's my mission. But hopefully your product or service is something you know actually sells. The next point is price. Now, this is a big deal because it kind of goes hand in hand with place or / position, because your pricing will dictate the type of customers that you have. For example, not everyone can afford a Rolls-Royce car. So Rolls-Royce do not try selling to people who, quite frankly, can't afford them. Many people aspire to having a Rolls-Royce car, but sadly, most people just won't bother owning one. They won't be able to afford it during their lifetime. And that's just the way it is. Rolls-Royce knows that, and to be honest, most people know that. Mercedes, again, they are a high-level, high-price mark, high-quality mark car, and they don't tend to advertise in trash magazines, for example. Why? Because their audience isn't there. Their price point puts these guys over here who buy the gossip magazines out of their price range. But if you look at National Geographic or The Economist magazines, for example, you will see adverts for Mercedes. Their price point dictates who they're selling to, and your price point will too. Now, here in Auckland, for example, there are companies that sell websites for $100,000, and that's fine because they will have a customer type who will buy that. However, there are also website design companies who sell websites for $5,000 or $6,000, and they have a particular client profile that goes with it. And we're going to come on to this in later videos. It all comes down to your target audience. If you've got a high-priced product or service, your audience is going to be different than what it would be if you had a low-priced product or service. Even though in terms of a website, the actual end product might well be the same, how you handle it for those respective clients are going to be very different. So your pricing is incredibly important. And now, one thing I have noticed is that startup businesses usually get their pricing really wrong. It took me quite some time in my web design business, which is my last business, to get the pricing right. Several years, in fact, to get a price point which I thought was right for us and right for our target market. But one thing I would urge you to do is to review your pricing on a very regular basis, twice a year at least. If you've not put your prices up for a while, do it. Simply because the cost of doing business has gone up, and so your pricing should go up accordingly. Now, I did a project with a hypnotherapist a number of years ago, and we doubled her sales. And gosh, it must have taken 8 months by adjusting her pricing packaging, by adjusting her pricing. Her target audience was the same, but her pricing strategy was all wrong for that target audience. And when we'd adjusted it over time, she was amazed at the results. Same target audience, same level of sales, but the pricing price points and the pricing structure was very different. So it can make a big difference, pricing. So don't ever overlook it. Look at it regularly. Now the next one is place. Now place is often associated with a geographical location. Now here's an interesting story. McDonald's don't see themselves in the restaurant business. They see themselves in the real estate business. You'll never find a McDonald's restaurant tucked away in a corner. It's always somewhere in a location that lots of people can see, either as they're driving by or in a shopping mall as they're walking by. McDonald's look for location. They look for place. Why? Because the fact that they're branding and they're marketing outside of their locations means that if people want McDonald's, they want to make sure it's easy to find. They want to make sure that if you've driven by it a few times and you decide you want a Big Mac, that you know where the local McDonald's is. Place is important to people like McDonald's. Same thing with car dealerships. Car dealerships want to be in a place where there's lots of driving past traffic. And then they put up big billboards, put nice, clean, shiny cars outside, big pricing on windscreens, etc. Why? Because that place in itself is a form of marketing. Because they can use that space to put on offers, put on deals, let people know, hey, we're here, come and take a look. Now, place is also to do with, to some extent, your position in the market as well. If you're an online business, obviously your place is your website. If you're an online business, it also needs to be a handful of different places as well, such as social media. And these are places in their own right. So if you don't have a physical location for your business, you still have a place. And you need to make sure that place is a good one. You need to make sure that place is well promoted, well known and well branded. And more importantly, that the design of the website and the copy on the website more than serves its purpose. But we're getting a little off track there going in about websites. But it's still a place, even if you don't have a physical location. And the last one is promotion. And to be honest, this is where people tend to stumble. And this is all about your email marketing. This is all about your social media marketing. This is all about your postal marketing. This is all about your referrals, your networking, your advertising, etc. Now, most people spend 95% of their time looking at their promotion. In my view, you perhaps should spend a little bit more time looking at your pricing, looking at your product and looking at your place. But promotion is where most people spend most of their time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because, if you've got a good product and you think it's priced right and your place is okay, then it's all about promotion. And this is where a lot of people, like I said, tend to stumble because there's just so many things you can do. Now, I've kind of condensed marketing down into what I call the ABC. In other words, who's your audience? Who are you trying to sell to? You need to know as much as possible about them. And I'm going to expand on audience in the next video. You need to then look at what's your boast, your B, or your brag. What are you saying to this audience which is going to strike a chord with them? And what I'm telling you now, branding exercises, if you're a small business are a waste of money. You can go out of business and spend your marketing budget really quickly on a branding exercise. You're not Coca-Cola. You don't have the budget of McDonald's. Go for response. Go for targeted response. You need to reach your target audience with your target message using the C, which is your channels. So you've got audience, broadcast or boast, and channels. And the channels are where a lot of people fall down because they don't fully understand. And the channels is literally the methods but which you use to get your boast or your broadcast in front of your audience. And this is usually things like social media, things like your website, things like email marketing, things like networking, things like paid advertising, pay-per-click, what have you. Now, the thing is, I always say to people, once you understand your audience, and know as much as you possibly can about them, you should quite readily be able to work out which channels to use to reach them. For example, if you sell B2B and you're looking at social media, you should be looking at LinkedIn. For example, if you sell B2C and you're looking at social media, Facebook, Instagram, maybe TikTok, depending on the demographic, are going to be useful target markets. And then within that, there are the skills to make it work for you. So it always boils back down to audience. Who are you selling to? Do you know enough about them to work out where they hang out, for example? A good example, if you sell football shirts, advertising in a football magazine might not be a bad idea. However, if you sell lingerie, for example, advertising in a football magazine probably won't get you very far. I'm sure some people who read football magazines will wear lingerie, but the number's going to be tiny. Most of your budget is going to be wasted. So you have to think about your target audience. Now, I've seen people get this amazingly wrong. And I've seen people do quite almost accidentally get amazing success. But it always comes back down to knowing who you're selling to. Now, I'm going to cover this in a lot more detail in the next video. And then in the following video, we're going to look at your boast and your broadcast. And then finally, after that, we're going to look at your channel. We're going to look at your marketing channels. What channels are you using to put your boast in front of your audience? And then the video after that, we're going to sum it all up. And I'm going to give you, along the way, loads of ideas to help make this work better for you. So, in summary, product, what are you selling? Price, how much is it going to cost? Place, where are you selling it? Promotion, what channels are you using to get your message across in front to your audience? So, it comes back to audience, A, B, C. Know your audience, know what it is you need to say to them, and know which channels, based on your audience, you need to use to get your boast in front of these people. Okay? It's actually really, really simple. Most people overcomplicate it. But one thing I will recommend right now is that you spend an awful lot more time working out your audience. Spend a lot more time on these people. Who are they? Where are they? If they're an age group, is there a gender? Is there an income bracket? Is there a hobby, for example? I mean, if you sell gardening stuff, chances are good your demographic is going to be an old one. Is it going to be older people who tend to have a bit of time on their hands to do gardening? I know that sounds like an oversimplification, but it's true. You go to any gardening centre, you won't see people, don't typically see many people in their 20s. So understanding your audience is a big, big deal, because without that, you won't know what to say to them, and you won't know where to put those messages. So that's about it. I'm going to sum it up and end it right there. If you've got any questions, please let me know. Remember to click on like, share, subscribe. It'd be great to have you on board. But that's it. Thanks very much, and bye for now.